Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and anyone that knows me knows that I've got two celebrity crushes. No more, no less. And that is Ronda Rousey and Gina Carano. Now, say what you want and make the assumptions you want about knowing that my only two celebrity crushes are women that can just absolutely destroy me. I'll take whatever you want to give me, because a lot of you are probably going to come to the same and correct conclusions. But one thing that I don't like seeing, well, sometimes I like seeing it, sort of depends, is how my girl Gina just gets dragged through the media, raked over the coals, and it may or may not be happening yet again. Let's take a look and see. Fired The Mandalorian star Gina Carano lashes out after being mocked for latest movie making $804. Fired Cara Dune actress Gina Carano has lashed out and talked more about her dismissal from The Mandalorian after a journalist poked fun at her for the fact that her latest movie made only $804 at the box office. Now, yeah, that's a pretty abysmal box office. I'm not gonna lie. We all know she signed to the Daily Wire, doing movies with them. That is also probably a bit misleading. These, I assume, maybe have limited box office runs because it's not a major studio, and most of these movies are behind a paywall for the Daily Wire's website themselves. So it's not going to have a massive box office. Now, I imagine $804 is still incredibly lackluster and small, but who knows if they're going to recoup that with people that pay for the service to get the movie just because they're already Daily Wire members or whatever. I'm not entirely sure. Don't know the financials of that, but who cares? We're talking about Gina here. Oh, my girl Gina. Let's read through this. MMA fighter turned actress Gina Carano once looked set to have a bright future as part of the Star Wars franchise. Cast as Cara Dune, The Mandalorian, she soon became a reoccurring presence in the Disney Plus series, and plans were put in place for the rebel hero to take center stage in a now-canceled spin-off titled Rangers of the New Republic. Honestly, I'm glad it was canceled. Disney finally had me with a strong female character. After me throwing fits about Rey and Admiral Holdo and all these awful girl power Star Wars characters that had no business being characters. They weren't characters. They put in Cara Dune, who was awesome. She was gripping from the get-go. Oh, it was beautiful to see maybe Disney finally learned their lesson and knew how to write females. And then, obviously, she got fired. I was so excited for her own show, Rangers of the Republic. I had hope for Disney again, for Disney Star Wars. It was so close. It was in our grasp. But no, she got fired, and I'm glad the show went with her, because I would not want to see this show without her. I wouldn't want to see someone else stepping into the role. I wouldn't want to see this. Basically, I don't trust Disney for further reasons after issues like this. But let's keep going. In 2021, Carano started stirring up a lot of controversy on social media after sharing her thoughts on the pandemic, the 2020 election, and views many deemed transphobic and anti-Semitic, which absolutely wasn't true. She has never been any of those things. She has talked at length in interviews about that sort of thing. Anyone that still believes that she's transphobic or anti-Semitic has never listened to her. They only listen to people talk about her. And I'm talking about her in a good light, but if you've never listened to her, don't listen to me say, oh, she's not this stuff. Listen to her talk about them. Watch interviews with her, both pre and post Disney Star Wars firing. Watch the Joe Rogan episode where she's a guest. Read her Twitter, her Instagram, all this sort of stuff. It's very obvious she is not the monster that the media wants to make her out to be. As a result, she was fired from the series and essentially blacklisted in Hollywood. These days, Carano primarily stars in movies made for the Daily Wire, an American conservative news outlet, with the latest effort, Terror on the Prairie, making only $804, yes, you read that correctly, at the North American box office. When the Hollywood Reporter's Richard Newby mocked how badly the actress fumbled the bag by missing on her own Star Wars series, toys, books, comics, and apparel, Carano quickly went on the offensive. Look, man, I don't know who Richard Newby is, but homeboy has got some balls if he is going to be, talking mad trash to a literal walking lethal weapon. I have no doubt that this guy is some twiggy, effeminate writer boy for some sort of, left-wing outlet, and he wants to mock someone who could probably, snap his neck with her pinkies. Not that she would ever do that. She's an absolute sweetheart. It's funny to think about, people who've never learned to pick their battles. So let's see what Gina had to say, because if it's saying she went on the offensive, ooh, goody, goody, goody. What you got for us, Gina? Accusing the writer of harassing her, the former Cara Dune suggested her dismissal from The Mandalorian came as a result of her not going along with the sellout narrative, blaming the online mob for petitioning to get her fired. Yeah, that absolutely happened. There was literally petitions to fire her. The online mob started change.org petitions and everything. So she was not blaming them. I mean, you can maybe still call that blaming, but it's the truth. It's what happened. So she goes on to once again share her views about the media, though we won't delve into her political leanings here. Well, even she hasn't delved into her political. She's never actually come out and said I'm a right winger or I'm a left winger. She's come out and said I don't like the media and how there's a lean to a very particular side. Which is, it doesn't matter if you're on the left or the right. You should very much not like the fact that that everything leans to the left, with the exception of Fox. With the exception of Fox, who leans to the right. Pretty much all news should be pretty in the middle and give us the chance to come to our own conclusions. They shouldn't be trying to influence us or to tell us what to think. So I don't even think she ever came out and said whether she voted for Trump or not or anything like that. Lucasfilm isn't expected to recast Cara Dune, and we still haven't had any explanation for her disappearance. Whether she'll receive a passing mention in The Mandalorian Season 3 remains to be seen, but it's possible the character will be forgotten and remembered as little more than just another ally Din Djarin and Grogu crossed paths with along the way. Alright. Here's a contributor. This is what we want to get to, folks. This is what we're wanting to get to. Alright. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. Here's a contributor of @THR who repeatedly joins an online mob of mostly anonymous accounts harassing me. And you're aware that we release Terror on the Prairie exclusively on the Daily Wire, and you didn't know that? Okay. Are you aware? So yeah, the $804 box office, yeah, they released it exclusively on the Daily Wire. Or are ignorance and spreading hate your only purpose here? So yeah, an $804 box office right out the gate. If this is the case, if it was exclusively for the Daily Wire, then that makes sense and that's fine. That's not even, we don't know if it's a flop or not for the same reasons we won't know if Amazon shows are a flop because they don't release numbers. I'm not going to give the Daily Wire a pass that I wouldn't give Amazon, but it doesn't alter the fact that trying to claim that an $804 box office, like making it her fault or something like that, when apparently there's an exclusivity contract, which is what I assumed from the get-go. I didn't fumble the bag, I just didn't go along with the sellout narrative. The online mob couldn't handle that, so they petitioned to have me fired and won. I'm not sorry for that. I stood for what I believe the right thing to do was, and the more time that goes by, the better I feel. Freaking preach, you based, beautiful bitch. And I say that word lovingly, I'm saying that as a form of love. The genuine bag fumble is sellout journalists like you who sold out America and stopped asking questions to be liked by a fickle, manipulated mob. That's what you valued, and that is what you valued, and that will be your legacy. The salt! Ooh, just drawing it up from the salt spice mines of Kessel. Get him, Gina. Yeah, you could say that I'm pretty biased, and frankly, that's true. I'm not going to deny my bias. Now, if she said something wrong, I would, of course, call her out for saying something that was wrong. If she was out there and she said something along the lines of, like, oh, the media is lying, Avatar, the last Airbender, Avatar, The Way of Water, only actually made 500,000, and they're lying about inflated numbers. I'd be like, no, Gina, you're wrong. Sorry, co-partner, that's not correct. Still love you, you're still beautiful, but you're wrong. But she's not saying that. She's out here dropping straight truth bombs and facts about, the media and about, her beliefs and standing for them. Again, everyone wants to talk about strong woman this, strong woman that. Here we have an actual strong woman, a woman who speaks her convictions, sticks to them, and because they don't align with, the right sort of thinking that people genuinely agree with in Hollywood, she gets ousted for it. Dude, I got mad respect for her. She did throw away potential, action figure deals, video games, movies, just boatloads of cash in order to stick to her guns. And I cannot think of anything more rebel than that. She really is Cara Dune. She is an actual rebel, and it is hardcore. So, anytime the media comes after her, a lot of folks like me or others that make similar content on YouTube are going to jump to her defense. And it's good probably to have her back. But dude, I don't think she needs us. I really don't. If she seems like she's got this, Cara Dune, she got this. Gina Carano, I don't want to say she can do no wrong. Everyone can do wrong. But like I said, her, Ronda Rousey, they're pretty much impenetrable walls, both on and off, their sport or on and off the TV, whether it be on Twitter or whatnot. And they deserve respect. Gina Carano especially deserves respect. And I love how this article, from, Gazette, Sci-Fi and Fantasy Gazette, tries to sort of manipulate, like, as a result, she was fired from the series and essentially blacklisted in Hollywood. Let's see. What was it she stated? There was something here that read very kind of funky. Primary stars and movies concerned about the latest effort. Yes, you read that correctly. $804, and the way they say an American news outlet, which latest effort, like it. I don't know. It sounds just derogatory, and for her being an actress and doing what she wants shouldn't be derogatory. I mean, no one's talking about Edward Furlong, who had a massive drug problem and then just started B movie after B movie for years because he couldn't get his life under control. And you know what? He's doing great now. Edward Furlong is doing awesome. He might not ever be what he used to, but he has overcome a lot. And who's to say that he won't start showing up in A-list movies again? Maybe if Hollywood can get this awful woke period that we're forced to be going through right now out of the way. Maybe if we can get to a point where all that matters is who's the best for the job, she can come back. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see, politics and all this ideology, not be part of the equation, and us just have good movies, good media, good video games, good TV shows. And hopefully she'll be welcomed back in the fold. If she even wants to come back, she may feel so burned that she'll decide not to. And if she wants to stick to those guns, then more power to her there as well. But you know what? Cara Dune, Gina Carano, just know that we love you and support you, and anyone that's a hater, they just haven't done their research. It's that simple. They haven't done their research, or they care to, or they don't care to, and they want to ignore all the obvious lies. And it's sad, but it is what it is. But that's all I've got to say on this topic. Go ahead and let me know in the comments below how you feel about Gina Carano or any of the actions that led up to this. Let me know on Twitter at BoltTheWord. And of course, please do like and subscribe. The subscription would really mean the world to me. I'm trying to grow this channel in 2023, and we get to cover more topics like this, more topics like Star Wars, or more topics like earlier, the lawsuits against Dungeons and Dragons that, man, I really hope go through, and I want Wizards to burn. But, subscribe to the channel for more of that great stuff, and because, I'm pretty awesome. But until next time, this has been Words of Paradise.